Now we're gonna play part 2, which gives a solution to the problem. These videos, both of them, are 11 years old, and they are true to this day. So, just to give you an idea, there was no innovation in quest design for 11 years. Just keep that in mind.
Last week, we talked about how quests could be used to encourage exploration and curiosity, rather than to simply push the player through an MMO treadmill. Today, we'll dive deeper into the concept and talk more about how to get players to think through all the aspects of your game, rather than perceiving it as a series of unending combat encounters. So first, let me tell you about a quest in the secret world. I apologize if this is a minor spoiler for anyone. This story will spoil one quest in the game, but I think it's useful to demonstrate how broadly you can get the player to think about your MMO through your quest system. The quest begins...
Has anyone played Secret World MMO? I only heard about it from the previous video that we watched last week.
At a church. A priest tells you that there's an ancient secret hidden in this town. He tells you that there's a secret path that will guide you on your way, and gives you a number of hints regarding...
By the way, do you guys remember when we played Apogea and I asked a very direct question? Why all monks, bishops, and priests are bald? Is this like some kind of prerequisite to become a priest? You have to be balding? Do they do some kind of head examination while you apply for the job? And, you know, I appreciate bald entirely, but he even went for the extra bit of hair here at the back of his head. So clearly, to underline, he is balding. This is a balding priest. Why is it so important?
Regarding Illuminati Sigla. Then he points you to the sewer caps outside. Emblazoned on all the sewer caps in the town is the Illuminati Pyramid, and if you follow where they point, moving always in the direction of the eye, you'll find the next part of the puzzle. Now, this first moment already has many of the hallmarks of quality quest design.
Holy shit!
Because it not only gets the player to look more closely at the world and to care about what's actually there, but it also gives the player a moment of wonder. Something they took for granted, these sewer cap textures that they've run over 100 times, are suddenly imbued with meaning and are part of the lore of the world. The world isn't just a wrapper for the...
You know what a modern player would do? They would install Questy, and none of that would matter.
Grind. It's a magical living place. That's a great feeling in a game. Okay, so after they follow that path, they get to a placard that reads, "In the seat of power, the navigator immortalized, illuminating the path to the sleeping priest and Fletcher, in memory of Franz Hals, who perished in light, 1580 to 1666. Now there is a puzzle. First, the player has to figure out that the seat of power means the town hall. This causes them to start looking at the map and thinking about the places in the world as actual places,
yeah, toilet,
rather
of
than
course.
simply reference points for spawn locations or quest givers. Next, they have to find the painting of a navigator in the town hall. To throw in some tangential learning, Franz Hals, the person quoted on the plaque, was a famous Dutch painter. If the player thinks to look that up while trying to figure out this puzzle, that should clue them in that they're looking for a painting. Sadly, the painting you find in the game isn't actually one of his, but, well, anyway. When you find the painting, the bottom of it says, "Time is the province of kings and gods. The hands of time point to truths written by kings in the words of God."
Look, again, this is great. I love this. And totally, like, I support shit like this. And, like, whenever you think of games, single-player games like Witcher and shit, they have this kind of mystery to them, and quests are well designed, like any quest, like Baldur's Gate, like whatever game that's single player you want to play, even probably Diablo, like Diablo 2, of course, like, but I'm talking about like the newer Diablo, just to stay in nowadays, okay? But when you have an online experience, many people playing it, there will be inevitably guides and add-ons and people having like peer pressure. They will literally pressure each other into going faster, and you can kind of feel that when you play on a smaller scale co-op multiplayer game. Think of Schedule 1. I have a great group to play games with, and when we played together, obviously I was the noob, but I was like trying to figure the shit out. I was trying to learn how to mix things up, what people want to buy, and how the addiction works, and all of that. I was just trying to make sense and kind of go through the game, let the game show me around, but at the same time, make mistakes and learn from them. They were pissed. The minute I was like, I wonder how you make Granddaddy. It's the name of the drug in the game. How do you make Grand Purple Daddy or Granddaddy, whatever? 30 seconds later, I got a link in Discord to an entire fucking chart that min-maxes all of the drug making. And this is just a small group of 4 or 5 people playing together. Imagine having thousands of players racing for best gear or, best mount, best ranking in PvP. There will be min-maxing all the fucking time. So while I appreciate how this sentiment is great, and I totally support that kind of quest design, I feel like players are not ready for it. And maybe they've never been. I don't know. But it's sad to see people putting so much effort into quest design, giving a story that is interesting and easy to understand, hopefully. And people just like, next, yes, shut up, yes, next, okay, give me a reward, yes, next, come on. Those players are their own worst enemy. They are missing on the innate value of the game that was meant to be included in the price. That was included in the price of the game.
Path is open to the enlightened. Here's where it gets bonkers. The player next has to realize that the hands of time mean the hands of the clock in the town hall, which point to 10:10.
Okay.
No problem so far. But after that, they have to realize that the truths written by kings in the words of God means they have to go crack out a Bible and open it to Kings 10:10, which reads, "And she gave the king 120 talents of gold, and of spices very great store, and precious stones. There came no more such abundance of spices as these which the Queen of Sheba gave to King Solomon."
Holy shit.
Which tells you the code to the vault you're trying to get into. 120. And while the difficulty on that last part ramps up far, far faster than it should, and in truth, the difficulty between steps and secret world missions often fluctuate too much, you can see how the secret world designers have gotten the player to buy into their world of weird, mystic paranoia by the end of this. They've let the reality of the game bleed into the reality of the player's world, and made every texture, every part of the environment hold the promise of meaning. And they did it all while presenting a set of challenges that exist outside the realm of combat or traversal. Yes, the player has to fight and run their way through the town while on this quest, but the quest wasn't to kill X number of enemies or to get to Y place. In fact, the mission can be completed entirely without fighting if the player is adept enough, and
how do we bring this back? How do we bring this back? MMO are made to be easy already, and then people still use meta websites to make it even brain dead more. Yeah, it is sad. Now, the question, of course, you have to be very careful with, I guess, I don't know, accusations. Because at the end of the day, we're pointing finger at players for the way they consume content, right? But at the same time, we have to be fair and question the quality of the game. Perhaps game is not incentivizing a thing like this. And like that curiosity. Or maybe it attracts the wrong crowd. Or yeah, like you know, I keep referring to that video from yesterday from Shroud. Maybe the way the game is designed, it enables that kind of skipping and that rush. Maybe, as Shroud said, maybe the game should let you figure out the value of a packet of cigarettes instead of telling you how much they're worth. And sure, you wouldn't have as many players, and I think this is the problem. You wouldn't have as many players if the game was difficult, but people who that kind of gameplay would be targeted at would stay loyal and very, very devoted to helping you build an even better experience. And they would gladly pay money. They would gladly be evangelist of the brand, and they would spread the word. And you would just essentially have it's niching down a company, niching down the product. It's product market fit situation, like the product design 101. You don't make a product for everyone because that is then for no one. You have to know your audience and then build a game that's exactly for them and fuck anyone else. And I don't think there are gaming development studios that are ready to take that challenge on. Ashes of Creation is kind of doing that. We all know Ashes of Creation will never be a mass market game. It's too difficult. But I think that's exactly the point. What else is there? Like, literally, Corepunk tried to be... Yeah, Corepunk tried to cater to those people that are looking for a challenge. And something went wrong. I don't know. People were complaining immediately. There was no quest markers. They didn't know what to do. Joanna wanted to quit the game in 30 minutes. But the game wasn't made for her. So it's like, in a way, it's a win for Corepunk team. Pantheon is basically EverQuest. Yes, EverQuest. So that's fine. It targets the right audience. But these games are so small. How do we get WoW 2004 again, dude? Because WoW has those quests. Chat, I literally said yesterday, think of the quest in World of Warcraft about Edwin Van Cleef. It's a masterpiece. It's literally the quality of the quest that the guy just described from the Secret World. Unbelievably good. And barely anyone knows about it. We don't get those anymore in the games. I followed entire lore in Throne and Liberty. It was cool. Yeah, it is what it is. Nothing like extraordinary. It's very, very flat, very linear, and like nothing challenging at all. And then we have, on the other side of spectrum, we have Elder Scrolls Online and Final Fantasy XIV with 15 years of lore that is so fucking full of dialogues, weird names that I don't know what's happening, and I quit the game. Like, I can't even be curious because nothing interests me because I'm so fucking overwhelmed. I don't know how to connect the dots to keep me in the loop. Man, like, game design is tough, dude. Very tough.
This sort of alternate challenge doesn't cost the developer any more to create either. I mean, those sewer caps have got to be textured either way. Having their texture also be a surprising part of the design doesn't cost any more money. It just takes a little forethought. Missions can either be boring and routine or a magic entry point for your world. Having them be the latter just involves a little bit of a shift in how we think about design. And in fact, the Secret World goes even farther than this. They really make sure to utilize all the elements of the game. There are times where you have to use emotes to pray or applaud in the right place at the right time in order to complete a quest. There are also a number of stealth missions which, while clunky at times from a design perspective, simply involve placing incredibly hard enemies that'll kill the player if they aggro them, and placing them in such a way that the player is able to move around them without pulling aggro if they think it through. It requires no new assets to develop it, nor does it require the implementation of new systems. And yet, it still delivers...
Wait, this is what they imagined PlayStation 4 will look like?
Develop it, nor does...
Wait, this is the concept of PlayStation 4? Dude, oh, you missed the mark.
Does it require the implementation of new systems, and yet it still delivers a new experience simply by moving the design mindset away from seeing quest design simply as a method for guiding the player through the combat grind. And that brings us to a few other points. First, if you want quests to feel organic, they can't just be one of 24 things that the player accrues every time they rush through town. By bombarding the player with the quest, you overwhelm them with text.
He's absolutely right. Absolutely right. Yeah, it's crazy. Like, I deliberately, when I play games like, let's say Final Fantasy, right? 14. I deliberately don't care about any side quests, and I only do minimum of the job quests, right? The Marauder quest, for example, from the Marauders Guild, and only stay focused on the main storyline. There are so many quests in the world. Let's say the lore pushes you to a new village, like literally village, like 2 minutes run away, okay? Like, this is a moment, next door. You go in there and boom, 5 quests. And only one of them is the next main story quest. You get those because, like, yeah, sure, I'll collect the flower on the way, whatever. And then you go ahead and there's another 5 quests, and all of a sudden you have 30 quests to deal with, and you can't even find the main story quest anymore because it's somewhere there flooded with the bullshit. It makes me not want to play. I pay lots of attention to the experience and the fun indicator. And if the fun indicator is not, like, you know, in the top 20% of the gauge, I quit the game. And being, like, overwhelmed it goes against fun. And plus, like, if those side quests were interesting, like in Witcher 3, great, okay? But they're usually very boring, very brain dead, and there's, like, nothing to them. So that's the problem, and he's totally right in this video. Instead of making the volume of quests, make a few of them, but make them great. Like, really interesting. Like, dude, in Apogea, like, seriously, I don't know. Like, Apogea has such a great quest design. Take a look what it's like. I'm not gonna go into detail, but have a look at Apogea quest design. Awesome. It very much is closer to the guys recommending in that video than he's advising against.
And essentially create a scenario where the player is incapable of really caring about the quests individually.
Yes.
The player's thoughts just boil down to, all right, which one of these is closer on my minimap?
Yes.
The Secret World limits you to 1 main storyline quest, 1 big quest, and 3 minor quests, so you can only ever have 5 at a time. That's a manageable number, and it allows the player to think a little bit more about each quest and invest a bit more in each one. This also lets you get rid of the ridiculous town hub that many MMO players know so well. That safe part of the zone that the player blazes through trying to find the 12 guys who have exclamation points over their heads.
Yeah.
Instead, constraining the player to a small number of active quests allows for environmental quests. You find an overturned car? That could be a quest giver. You find a note on the ground? That's a quest giver. Find a corpse in the woods? That's a quest giver. Environmental quests make the world feel much more holistic and alive by having quests tied to small scenes or moments within the world. Environmental quests also create a much better flow to the game. Wherever you are when you finish a quest, there's something else interesting to do. And if you really run out of quests, just explore the world and you're sure to find a quest that pushes you to explore it even more. That's way better than the flow-breaking return trip to town to drop off quests or get new ones. Lastly, most of what we call quests these days, I think should be reduced to what I call tasks.
Exactly. So this is exactly what I'm talking about. Those quests are not even like stimulating. This is like the quest giver is like, oh, dude, I'm busy here, and this is Red Ridge Mountains quest, by the way. There's like this lady in the Lakeshire, saying like, oh, she's busy or whatever. My husband is on the watch, on the crossroads, right? You guys remember the crossroads when as you enter Red Ridge Mountains, there is this little knight at the crossroad, and his wife made him lunch, and your task is to take that lunch and bring over to the guy so he doesn't starve. That's not a quest. That's like free labor, you know? It's nothing immersive. Actually, Red Ridge Mountains is probably one of the best examples. In the Lakeshire itself, there's like 50 quests. In this little tiny village with 10 NPCs. Go kill, go kill, go kill, go find, go bring, go fish, go kill, go loot, go burn, go kill. Like, dude, you just go like machine gun. Quest, done. Level. Okay, next one. Quest, done. Next one. Calm the fuck down. I'd rather have like 5 quests in a zone, entire fucking zone, that made me learn about the story of that zone. How do you explore the world? In real life, let's say you go to fucking Rome. What do? You walk around, you listen to locals talking in a cafe. You maybe have a munch somewhere just to taste a local dish. You look at some kind of monument. You let the city show you around. You might have some kind of quests for yourself that you arranged on the way on the plane, right? Like let's say you fucking you know about the mountain. Fountain, sorry. You know about the fountain. That's your quest, okay? You're gonna read up on it. You're gonna dive into the story, why it's there, why it's so important. You're gonna take a look, have no reflections whatsoever. That water is wet. And then you're gonna move on, okay? But overall, the way you fucking explore in real life, you're just being in the moment. And I think we don't know how to recreate that experience in MMOs. Because we like cater to those fucking Karens that want to min-max everything, download latest guides, quest helpers, just rush through the shit and uninstall the game 2 months later. That's not how you make a sustainable experience for players that lives on for the next 20 years like World of Warcraft. It's not the way, dude. You take all the side quests, obviously. I would be careful with those side quests. Yeah, seriously, they can overwhelm you. And to be honest, people who return from holidays more stressed than they were before they had left are those who took too many side quests, because they have 1 week somewhere to enjoy. Say they go to fucking go to Warsaw, okay? Let's say you visit Warsaw for the first time, the capital city in Poland, if you didn't know, okay? You visit Warsaw and you have 7 days, dude. You can't do it all. But in real life, your quest log isn't limited. You can pick up all the quests, and then you like run 20 kilometers every day. Pew, pew, I need to see this, I need to see this. Pew, 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 eat. Oh, that was really good. Next one. And you just like, calm down, dude. Calm the fuck down. It's okay. This city will be here next year too, okay? Unless Russia invades, but that's the other, yeah, you know, you can't control that. So, it is what it is.
The idea of tasks is a system used heavily in Lord of the Rings Online. In that game, basically everything has a task associated with it that functions sort of like an achievement. So, kill 20 rats, task complete. You find all the major landmarks of this zone, task complete.
That's actually
kill
true.
20 corrupted denizens of the lower abyss, yep.
Yeah, we played Lord of the Rings on the stream, I think, 3 weeks ago. Perfect analogy, to be honest. Never thought of it that way. It is. Yeah, I mean, thank you, but it just seems like a common sense. Feels whenever you take a guided trip every day is just packed full with stuff to see. Do it is, yes. By the way, I never do guided trips. It's just unless I go to like fucking Svalbard, where you have polar bears attacking you and you need a guy with a fucking shotgun to be around you, right? Like, then maybe I can accept a guided trip there, but other than that, I never ever go on guided trips.
Task complete. But what made these tasks interesting is that they all, in the loosest of senses, conferred a small permanent bonus to your character if you did them. Not enough to actually make you feel like you have to do all of them, but enough for you to feel like it's really worth doing the ones you felt like doing.
Yeah.
And this is the key. They created tasks for everything. I mean, seriously, there was a task associated with almost every monster in the game. And
Yes.
this is essential because what do these tasks do? They encourage the player to play how they want. Maybe today I want to grind Neeker Breakers. Maybe tomorrow I want to explore all of Weathertop. Maybe the next day I want to see how many Barrow Wights I can take down, because those are super hard for me to fight at this level. Well, in Lord of the Rings Online, you can do all of that, and the game encourages you to. It lets you track your progress and rewards you for playing however you want to play. This is a power...
I will tell you something. If it wasn't, like, this is my honest take. If it wasn't for a disgusting pay-to-win monetization systems in Lord of the Rings Online, I would be playing that game day and night. It's a great game. It's a really good game, but rotten from the inside.
Powerful thing. You can augment your quest system by putting in these types of tasks, and essentially letting the player choose when they want to create differences in kind for themselves. Oh, and in Lord of the Rings Online, they did throw in one really manipulative task that I just loved. All it provided the player with was a title, but it changed the whole experience. Say James gets to level 5 without dying once.
Okay.
That would earn him the title James the Wary.
Oh.
If he got to level 10 without dying, he'd be James the Undefeated,
Oh.
and so on. Now, I'm not saying that this is a good way to go, but it really makes you feel like your character's life has meaning, which helps you to really sink into the world of Middle-earth.
Oh yeah, that's a very important point he brings up. Chad, you can listen to fucking like Asmongold saying how World of Warcraft hardcore is stupid and how this game is not meant to be in the hardcore mode. I fucking disagree. Like, really, I do. Having played hardcore myself, I think the fact how much value your life has changes everything. It's a great sensation. Like, try playing WoW hardcore even yourself until level 10, 15. You don't have to play all the way through. But the fact that your life has meaning, oh my god, what a different game. Everything changes. Like, literally, the way you walk, the NPCs you talk to, the quests you take, items you wear, everything changes. Because now you have the regard for your life. I'm not claiming any game is perfect. Games have bad sides and good sides. And I am more than happy to congratulate Guild Wars 2 on building a great world, a great lore, while at the same time completely bashing their monetization mechanics, right? Like, I mean, Final Fantasy 14 has good sides too and bad sides too, and just because you caught me talking about the bad thing in the game doesn't mean I don't appreciate something about that game either. I'm not like one-way Andy, okay? I try to stay open-minded, you get me?
There is plenty more on quest design that we could talk about, and maybe we will eventually. But one last thing before we go. World of Warcraft has evolved a lot over the years, and Blizzard has clearly tried to branch out and build more than the treadmill FedEx quest and kill quests that WoW launched with. But many of WoW's clones and the free-to-play games of today seem not to have learned this lesson. Which is tragic, because, especially in the free-to-play age, just because a game is an MMO does not mean that it has to feel like a grind. See you next week.
I agree with that, and this video is 11 years old, chat. Keep that in mind. Everything he's been saying is literally 11 years old. Imagine that, and he's so right. Actually, you know what? We're gonna do something great. Okay, we're gonna add quests. Wait, volume of quests is not overwhelming, and those that exist feel satisfying and immersive. Okay? So I'm trying to paint a picture of a perfect MMO. Let me maybe change that. Okay, and I do have a few points, and I keep writing them down so I don't forget. Some kind of mysteries, quest reading, thinking, not a brain dead slop. There you go. Yeah. So just keep that in mind. Yeah, I have that going in the background. This was a really good video, chat. Like, I feel like you should check out the extra credits. They still upload until today, and they have great stuff about MMOs games overall.
Subscribe.